Hi, everyone. We're having a little bit of delay there getting on LinkedIn, but better late than never, right? So we're here
Mhm.
with Lisa Michaels. Lisa is an intuitive business mentor and specifically for entrepreneurs and leaders. She is the founder of Lisa Michaels, Nature Nourished Wisdom for today's leaders. I am so thrilled here to have our ninth episode of Authentic Conversations with Entrepreneurs. And if you are wondering if this is your first episode and you're wondering what the heck is an authentic conversation, this is all about talking with entrepreneurs today, of course, Lisa, but the conversations that we don't typically have, right? We all want to share the success and the growth and all the good things in business. But the truth is, in the journey of entrepreneurship, we're going to face some hurdles, we're going to face some growing challenges, but that's exactly what happens from that growth, right? And so this is about humanizing that journey, sharing the heart, the fire that burns in your heart for your business. And I'm so thrilled to explore today's topic with Lisa on follow the energy. So you can say hi, Lisa, and we'll just. I want to start by asking about this topic. Like, what does this mean to you?
Catherine, first of all, it is a delight to be here with you. To have any kind of conversation with you is so much fun. I just really love it.
Right back
So,
at you.
yeah, I know, right? So, follow the energy to me is really about paying attention to your heart and your soul, not just your head. We as entrepreneurs think, oh, we need to think everything out and we need to know what we're doing and we need to be like, really clear. And the problem with that is that all of you's not on board. And if
Mm,
all of you is not on board, then you can't be successful because success comes from your authenticity. Like you help people with so much with their branding. It really matters that every bit of you is in your entrepreneur journey, not just your
yeah.
head.
Oh, I love that. So I think there's probably already some like not just for me, but like, can you, I mean, where has this something you've always known, or when did this really speak to you in recent time or past in your business and your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, honestly, I feel like I've been super blessed as an entrepreneur because my very first business was I owned and ran a I should say my very first successful business was I owned and ran a 500 pupil ballet school. But my heart was
Wow.
so in it, and I was really applying all the principles that I knew and all the things that I'd studied in terms of, like, how energy works to the business, and it just thrived, and I created programs and products for dance teachers and was on the cover of Dance Teacher Now magazine 3 different times with my products,
Nice.
and then I followed the energy, like, I knew it was time to go do what was next, and moved into that. So I felt really guided there. But I have, along the way, I've coached and mentored tons of other people. And I've made a few like weird detours myself where I was thinking I should do something,
Mm,
only my whole being wasn't in it. And it doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't go anywhere, but when all of you is there and all of you is in what you're doing and you are following where the energy is flowing, it can really help you, and I mean, like I said, I've had 2 successful businesses. I went into personal development after that and facilitated tons and tons of workshops for the next 20
yeah.
years. I wrote books, I developed products, I had a lot of success. And then it was like time to do what was next. Only this time, I had no idea what that was.
And that's so interesting. Like you came at it with your head initially, even though you knew follow the energy because you've lived that. So I mean, how long or how many times, like you mentioned a couple times you started on directions and it was like, oh no, this doesn't, it's like a dead end. But I guess can you take us to how that came about? How did you experience, you know, how were you reminded of this truth for you?
Quite a number of times, actually. So back before I even had my very first ballet school, I tried to go and be a travel agent. And it was like flunk, like the energy just goes flunk, it doesn't
Yeah.
go anywhere. And what's interesting about following the energy is sometimes it takes a while. Like between the ballet school and my personal development business, it took me a couple of years to go from to navigate that transition is what I'm gonna say. To I mean, I knew what I was gonna do, but I didn't know how it was gonna outpicture, and I didn't know w what it was about. And then in this 3rd iteration, I mean, I'm really basically in the 3rd phase of life and really wanting to do something that contributes to entrepreneurs and leaders in a big way,
Mhm.
but kind of having to feel my way through what exactly that was. And,
Mhm.
honestly, Catherine, and I mean this sincerely, your work, and, I did some work with you, it's very helpful for uncovering and unrooting, like, what is the core of somebody's gifts, if you will, because you reach a certain place, at least I did, of like, what kind of shape is this gonna take next?
Mm. Mhm.
How's it gonna unfold?
I
So it's part about trusting the process, and it's being around people that help you to, like, see yourself, which you're really
Mhm.
good at doing and reflecting back.
Thank you, Lisa. I absolutely loved our work together. And I just love the way you speak about this, the shape it takes and the unfolding. And I think I'm wondering, in a world where business is all about, I'm speaking society wise, go fast, grow fast. Um, it can be hard to let things kind of just take a while. So what did you do, and or what advice would you offer to others if, that's taking some time and there's impatience for things to take time, and you're seeing around you other businesses growing, but you want to almost mold the shape yourself. You want to go to the mind, right? Make it happen. What advice
It's
would you
so
give there?
tempting. It's so tempting. It's
Yeah.
so tempting, and I just kept saying, "This must come from inside of me, not
Mm,
from outside of me." Like,
yes.
I was not willing to make money the only driver. I just wasn't, because I knew from past experiences that that does not work for me. And
Mm,
so and I say this because I've also helped a lot of other entrepreneurs. If you connect to the natural world, you will see that plants take different amounts of time to actually get to harvest. An apple tree takes tons longer than a tomato. Many more seasons that apple tree has to go through before we actually pick the fruit. So the more you can also continue doing something while you're allowing it to unfold. I mean, I've been coaching and mentoring all the time through the and continuing to be a leader in the way that that showed up for me during that time, but continuing
yeah.
to do that while I was like, all right, how's it gonna shape and which way is it gonna move right now? And
Right.
really feeling into my truth.
I love that. And I know there's green in my brand, right? Like I think yeah, it makes sense. Why should we be any different than the nature and living things around us? So I do agree that there's a lot we can see in nature, and that we are different flowers and plants at our own pace. So thank you for highlighting that. I mean, nonetheless, how I guess feeling so what I hear from you is like continue to show up, right? Continue to there's
Yep.
value even if it doesn't have the shape you want it to have. There's value in your very presence and your gifts. And I 100% feel that because I know we've had lunch and we've connected here or there through this journey until, as you've been figuring out the next direction, and which is taking off now. But I think, I would 100% agree with that. I absolutely find so much value in our connections. But how does it feel, or whether you feel it yourself or you're guiding some of your clients through this now, it can be hard to, I
Oh,
guess, those
yeah.
moments when you are lacking that direction. How do you, whether the direction or the motivation, like how do you energetically refill your tank, if you will? Like keep that, the word, like the word drive, but you don't know where you're going.
Well, honestly, there's different levels of drive. There's a fiery, kind of more masculine drive that I feel like, and I use masculine as just like a general principle more than I'm using it in terms of men, but a more, and I'm just going to use fire. This energy that kind of propels you forward, that I think we have more of, at least I did earlier in my life. Like the drive would take hold of me and move me forward.
Right.
This came from a different place in this phase of life. It came from a more, I'm going to use earthy, watery place of, what is it that my heart and soul are really calling to give in this next phase of life. So I mean, just those different elements. I mean, you can feel the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And fire is hurry up and go and go and go and go and action. And earth and water are much more like we're going with the flow.
Well,
We're gonna,
rooted, grounded, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
flowing.
It feels
Interesting.
really different. So it's
Yeah.
really, you have to give yourself permission
Mm.
to allow the energy to guide you, as opposed to you just getting fired up and heading off in some direction that just doesn't make any sense. And I tried that a few times actually in this window,
Getting
so
caught in
don't
the
get me
race,
wrong.
and
Oh
yeah,
my, yeah, certain things I thought I wanted to do, but I mean, as I tried to do them, nothing, nothing flowed, just nothing flowed.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to surrender.
I love this too because it's interesting. I in my own brand, I have a fire, right? And Flexion Point has a fire, and I think so. On the one hand, how you speak of fiery, it's really interesting because I love how you said, when you're younger in life, because 100% relatable. I think it's the gung ho go getter, and it's, but I think even true, you tell me that in our society, there's still a lot of that masculine energy and
Oh
that
yeah.
fiery kind of nature. When I look at a fire, and I'm going to grab it, this is what I see.
Mhm, mhm.
I think this is the challenge of entrepreneurship. I think it's what I mean with the fire is we all want the warmth
Right.
and the comfort and the, let me
Yep,
roast the marshmallows and tell stories and all the good parts, but we don't want the risk.
yep,
Innately in a
yep,
fire you can get burned,
yep.
but
Or burned out.
or burned out, right? And we try to pretend that a fire can't do that, but the truth is both coexist.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
so it's about being calm in the fire. And I
Yep,
think that's like you've mentioned, connecting with your authenticity. You've talked about, in your words, feeling it in your whole body,
yep.
that alignment of head and heart. I think that is how you kind of master that, in my opinion, master that calm in the fiery environment of business that we have.
And
So,
everybody's different too, everybody has their own inner elemental makeup, if you will. Some people are
mhm,
innately more fiery, some people are innately more watery or more earthy or more airy. And when
mhm,
you also get aligned with who you are in terms
mhm.
of your own internal makeup, that helps a lot too, as does paying attention to the phase of life that you're in.
Yeah, because it sounds like it can shift. You can be fiery,
Absolutely.
and then you can
Absolutely.
shift to being more earthy
Yep.
and watery.
Yep.
I love this. I love
Absolutely.
this. Is this Is this something? So I know. Well, let's tell people where they can find you, and I think that's going to help. Um, Here's your website, lisa-michaels.com. Don't forget the dash there. Is this tool? I know you wanted to share the Nature Nourished Leadership Intuition Guide, which is downloadable on the homepage, right?
Yep,
Is this
absolutely.
something that you help your clients with? Will this tool help people start to unlock what element type they are? Or I'm
Well, it will really help them to start understanding how the elements impact them and how different ones impact their intuition. And you really kind of have to have somebody go over your personal archetypes with you in terms of elementally, because there's you might have a different element that you think things through in a different way, like your inner feminine is, or what you've come here to do. Like there's a lot of different aspects to looking at what is your core elemental makeup and how all
mm,
those archetypes are working together. It's highly individualized, and it can make a huge difference in understanding how you go about creating and manifesting as an entrepreneur.
I all of that, yes. I love it. I love it. I mean, so obviously this is uh what is natural to you, what flows from you. I mean, is this website a great place to start? Would you be a great person to
Absolutely.
talk to if someone's interested in exploring those archetypes?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love this. And I want to make sure they know where to find you too, because you share wonderful content on social. So you're most active on Facebook, right?
Yes, generally.
Okay. Yeah. So you are an author. Can you share more about that? Or you have one, two books. What should we be reading?
Well, the my very first book is called Nature's Creation Alchemy, and it really does talk about the elements, it talks about the archetypes, and it talks about timing things in relation to the natural world and how that matters to how you actually manifest. So great, great resource. It's helpful
Well,
to read it, so much
yeah.
out of it. Then I have actually a couple more books, and am writing another one. All of them are in the process of being refreshed. I also have an elemental oracle that just got back in print. It's called the Elemental Forces of Creation Oracle. It's digital and it's physical right now. So lots of
Love
tools
that.
on there, and I'm going to continue. And any private client that I work with, of course, is, entrepreneurs. I start with what is your genius and what are your elemental archetypes that make up that genius, because we can't go any further till we
Right.
know who you are and we know how you function, and we have a sense of and you have a sense of how those parts work together. Like I'm working with somebody right now who's got two fiery energies at her core, and
Wow.
she's got this really slow earth part that is her thinking part. And she's been all the time in this frustration of
Like
wanting to
internal
go fast,
conflict. Yeah.
going slow, going fast. Like, so we're working on that right now. Before we can even work on her business, we need to know
Wow.
how to do this. She needs to understand how to work with these energies, or, she's just going to continue to be frustrated.
I love this, Lisa. Thank you so much I mean, I've known you do this work, but I think it's exciting and maybe very new and fresh to our viewers to hear and even think about business in terms of our elements and energy. Like energy is one thing, but connection to nature. It's a whole we've talked about it. I think it's what business needs a little bit more of.
Yeah, for sure.
So I truly want to thank you for being here, for doing this, Lisa. I think, courageously sharing your vision, your philosophy, your authenticity, and your story is bold and it's empowering and it's exciting. So I hope others will tune in, visit your site, and they can, of course, catch the replay of this on LinkedIn or here on my website. Um, any parting words that you want to share?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Catherine, and thank you for the work that you do with branding and authenticity because it does make a really huge difference in the world. And, the more that anybody can connect with nature as really this deep understanding that they too are part of nature and
Mm.
to, just go out and really, even as an entrepreneur, spend time in the natural world because it'll inform you and you'll start to understand the ways that the principles really also work in your life and in your business.
I love that, Lisa. I think one thing you'll see following Lisa on social too is her absolutely gorgeous garden. And she's going to be opening her own uh, farm stand soon. I joke.
No. Not after this year. The deer have really been wreaking havoc.
Oh, goodness. Well, I live vicariously through you because I do not have that green thumb. I just wear the green clothes.
Love it.
But well, such a thrill, Lisa. I know our next episode is actually going to be on October 13th at 1:30 Eastern time, and I'll be talking to one of our friends that you introduced me to, Nathan Stuck. And
Fun.
we're going to be talking about taking the leap, which he has recently done to be a full-time entrepreneur. So
Love it.
I think that leap, we often only think it happens at the beginning of entrepreneurship, but there's all kinds of leaps that we have to take in business, even once we've started the
Absolutely.
journey. Yeah. So I'm looking
Absolutely.
forward to that. I hope you can tune into it as
All
well.
right. Sounds
But
great.
thank you so much for being here, and thank you
It's a
all for
delight.
watching.
Yep. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Catherine.